Hello guys, welcome to another edition of Ray's Sports News and Debates. Okay, in today's video, we're going to be going over our 3 winners and our 3 losers from week 2 of the NFL season. And without further ado, guys, here we go. At number 1 for my winner side, we're going to go with the Dallas Cowboys. Another dominant win. And yes, it's the New York Jets without Aaron Rodgers. I completely understand that. But the Jets have a top 3 defense, and the Cowboys absolutely dominated it. They had a decent run game, although I think the run game could be better. CeeDee Lamb had a field day. Prescott looked amazing. 31 of 37, 255 yards passing, 2 tutties, and the most important stat, 0 interceptions. 0 interceptions through 2 games, and you could not say that about Prescott last year. But you can tell the offense looks a little bit more conservative, but it's more efficient. I'd rather the Cowboys offense be efficient. We don't got to have 80-yard touchdown plays. We don't got to have 70-yard touchdown plays. Now, would that be nice? Absolutely. Okay. But the way the Cowboys have built this offense, and Brandon Cooks is hurt right now, but this offense full force, we can nickel and dime even the best defenses. And to slowly, eat the clock, dominate time of possession like they've had the past 2 games. The Cowboys defense, I make a case right now through 2 games. Yes, against the Giants. Yes, it's against, the Jets. Cowboys have the best defense in the league right now. They had 4 turnovers this game. They forced Wilson to throw 3 interceptions, and they got a fumble in the game. They had forced multiple turnovers last week. Cowboys have had 0 turnovers through 2 games. So not only is the offense not turning the ball over, the defense is forcing takeaways. Okay? They allowed 10 points. Really, you take out the 68-yard play from Wilson to Wilson. Jets did absolutely diddly squat with the offense this week. Wilson just looked like the regular Zach Wilson that we all know that he is. Micah Parsons had 2 sacks again. Fumble recovery. Fumble recovery. And, the defense looked elite. I think this defense has the potential to be the best Cowboys defense in probably 20 years. Since they are, 20 to 25 years. But, the Cowboys looked amazing. I cannot take anything away from them. But, they're going up against the Cardinals team. I think it's going to be another dominant win. Should probably be in the, 34-13, 34-10, somewhere along those lines. Number 2, okay, little bit of a shocker. I'm going to go Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and mainly Baker freaking Mayfield. Now, when Baker was named the starter, I was like, okay, he's been in the league a couple years. He has a playoff victory. He has experience. I didn't think they'd finish last in the division. I put Atlanta in that realm because I was like, I like the addition of Bijan. Desmond Ridder, I'm still trying to figure him out a little bit. But Baker looks re-energized. He looks, like the quarterback of the Cleveland Browns that went 11-6, got a playoff berth, went to Pittsburgh, and ultimately retired Big Ben. But he looks great. Mike Evans is probably going to get another 1,000-yard season, continue his streak. But, Tampa Bay, they just look, out of every team in the NFC South right now, they look the absolute clear-cut best, and it's not even close. The Saints are 2-0, but they've squeaked by 2 really teams, But I like the offense. Goodwin, Mike Evans, their running back. Everything about Tampa Bay, I like right now. And if you would have asked me, when Brady left, where was Tampa Bay going to finish in that division? I would have looked you in the face and said either last or next to last. But I think they could potentially win that division. Now, I think it's going to come down to what Baker does when he plays the Saints defense, because the Saints do have a good defense. But we'll see that in a couple weeks. But yeah, shout out to Baker Mayfield and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, 2-0. Okay, and they, you beat Kirk Cousins your first week. Okay, and yes, they beat the Bears this week, and I do think the Bears are one of the worst teams in the NFL. Fields has had his time. He's 5-22 as a starter. He's just not the guy. And that's okay. That's not a knock on Justin Fields. He's a good quarterback, but he's a running quarterback. He's not a pocket passer. And I think the Bears are trying to force him to be a pocket passer, and that's not Justin Fields' game. Justin Fields' game, he's a scrambler. He's a quarterback that can do a lot on the run. He's not a pocket guy. And you can there's that old expression, you can bring the horse to the water, but you can't make the horse drink the water. Okay? And they're forcing Justin Fields to drink that water. Okay? But, 2 games in, anything could change, but through 2 games, Tampa Bay is my second winner. My third winner, I'm going to go the Atlanta Falcons this week. We're being dominated by the Green Bay Packers. Jordan Love had another efficient game. I will give him credit. I didn't think I was going to see much out of him this year, but he's looked good through 2 games so far. But shout out to the Atlanta Falcons. They came back. They toughed out a win. Shout out to my boy Bijan Robinson from the University of Texas. Had over 120 rush yards. Desmond Ridder looked really good for the most part, and the Falcons are 2-0. And no, don't adjust your YouTube settings or your TV. No, that's right. The NFC South has 3 2-0 teams. The Saints, the Falcons, and the Buccaneers are all 2-0. Everyone in the NFC East, okay, has a win. You have Philadelphia 2-0. Cowboys are 2-0. The Commanders are 2-0. And the Giants beat the Cardinals. But even the Giants are 1-1 right now. But shout out to the Atlanta Falcons, because like I said, I think the Bucs have the best chance to win that division based on what I've seen through 2 games. Obviously, anything can happen. Injuries can happen. But through 2 games, I think it's either the Falcons or the Bucs division to lose at this point. But our 3 losers. Let's get into it, guys. Okay, at number 1, I'm going to go the Chargers. I think it's time for Brandon Staley to go. They lost another close game. I was amazed that he came back after that collapse in the wild card game. But you'll lose a close game to Miami. You'll lose a close game to the Titans where you were favored to win. Shout out to the Titans for showing up, playing the game, and winning that game. But I think it's time for Brandon Staley to move on with this coaching career. I think the Chargers are in a vast direction change. And I think once you get, a new guy in there, team will be a little bit re-energized again. Justin Herbert looks amazing, just like he always does, but he's had bad coaches. Number 2, I'm going to go the Denver Broncos. It was a tale of 2 halves. The Broncos, the first half, they looked like a playoff team. They were dominated on the offensive end and the defensive end, okay? And then you play the second half, and everything changed. They looked like a terrible football team. Their defense looked, I would say, way under what the potential of it could be, okay? So you go from dominating them on the defensive end, you go from dominating them on the offensive end, to you let Sam Howell, no offense, dominate you, okay? Score touchdown after touchdown after touchdown, okay? You had a double-digit lead, and then towards the end of the game, you were down 11. And if it wasn't for, luck to magically fall into your hands on the 50-yard Hail Mary, it wouldn't have even been close, okay? Then, of course, you failed the 2-point conversion. But I do think the relationship between Wilson and Payton is getting to a point to where either Wilson's going to get benched or they're going to trade him before the trade deadline. which sucks because you basically guaranteed Wilson's contract anyway. So even if you ship him somewhere, you're still paying for it. But yeah, the Broncos, I don't know. I feel like they have a good team, but they just keep losing. And I don't think it's Sean Payton. I think he's trying to get the best out of Russell Wilson. But, Russell Wilson has that diva presence, and Sean Payton doesn't play that bougie. But third loser this week has to be the Cleveland Browns. Guys, when you're dominating a team offensively, you have more yards, you have more time of possession, more first downs, and everything, and you still lose that game. Sheesh. Deshaun Watson, he had 2 terrible turnovers. Pittsburgh defense looked like I thought it was going to do week 1 against the 49ers, forcing turnovers, scoring touchdowns, helping Kenny Pickett's out. And, I think this team is going to go as far as Cleveland's defense is going to go. I don't think Deshaun's going to go back to the 2020 season or the 2016 or the 2019 season when, Watson completed 70% of his passes. The Texans were a legit playoff team. I think that time has passed. And it's not a knock on Deshaun. Maybe he can come back. Like I said, it's only 2 games in. But we got to limit those turnovers. The Browns have a good defense, but you can't put them in deep situations. You can't have turnovers that lead to touchdowns on the other end. All night, really, the Steelers really hadn't done much offensively. They had one long pass play, which resulted in a touchdown. But outside of that, they kind of struggled moving up the field. And your offense kept moving down the field, but you would settle for field goals or you'd have turnovers. You got to limit that. Now I don't know who is going to win the NFC North at this point. The Ravens are 2-0, so obviously they're in first place. The Bengals are 0-2. But I really think this division's a toss-up at this point. I think any one of these teams could win. I think if the Steelers defense plays dominant, they can win. But yeah, guys, those are my 3 winners and 3 losers. Predictions. We went 10-6 last week. We were 4-0 in the 3 o'clock games, 2-0 in the Monday night games. We won the Thursday night game, but we were absolutely terrible on the 1 o'clock games. But it's okay. We were 10-6 this week. We were 9-7 the week before. So right now we're 19-13 through 2 weeks. Okay, our predictions video will be up in a couple of days. Hit that like, guys. Comment. Who are your winners? Who are your losers of this week? What are your early NFL predictions for Thursday as well as week 3? Okay, and until next time, you guys have a good one.